everybody, welcome back to Reality Room Podcast. Today we are going to be doing something a little different today. So a couple of weeks, I want to say end of March, beginning of April, I filmed at a penthouse and another place in Miami called Limonada. So one was the penthouse and one was the Limonada, and I was working for this DJ company, PHMG Recordings, and I noticed that there was a lot of people in the area that looked exactly like Big Brother contestants. So a couple of people, one of them looked like Tyler, one of them looked like Scotty, one of them looked like Paul from Big Brother 18 and 19, and then another person looked like Azah. So today we are going to we're going to go over what they look like. So we're going to start with the first person. Well, we're going to start with these two. So as you can see here, this is me on the left. And we have Tyler, Scotty, Paul, and Azah. And let's just take a look. So this was at the penthouse. Take a look.
When you just when you're in the middle of the ocean and you're just swimming like this, you're staying afloat. I forget what the word is, but how long will you do that for?
Looks exactly like Tyler and Scotty, that's for sure.
That's what we have.
Maybe they're making an alliance. Final two, possibly. Could be it. That could be the final two guys. Right there. Final two. So yeah, right here on the bottom right, that was Tyler and Scotty. Let's just. Yep, there. It's just interesting to see like these Miami people that have such similarities between these contestants. So yeah, we're gonna be going over the doppelgangers. So yeah, this is just, it's crazy. So the next person we're gonna talk about is the Paul Abrahamian, I believe is his last name. We're gonna go over take a look. Okay, the tattoos, the hair, the beard, like the physique, even the smile too. It kind of looks like Paul. But it's just kind of crazy to think that, you know what I mean? Like, yep, that's Paul. And the next one is Azah. So this one, Azah, this person doesn't really look like Azah too much, but definitely was someone that I got kind of impressions with. So take a look. Looks like the one on the left. Definitely got some Azah. I don't know what it was, but like. Yeah, so those were four people that looked like Big Brother contestants. So we had Azah from Big Brother 23, Paul from Big Brother 18-19, and then we had Tyler and Scotty from Big Brother 20. And Tyler was also on Big Brother 22, which was All Stars. So it was definitely interesting for sure to see. It made me really think, like, does casting really pay attention? Because these people definitely reminded me of like the party vibe people and, players and stuff like that. So it's just interesting to see people that look very, like, there's such high resemblance to contestants on these shows. And it made me really think, like, does in regards to the casting of Big Brother. So in addition to these doppelgangers / lookalikes, we're going to go over as well some casting, tips from Robin Cass, who is the casting director from Big Brother 2 to 22. She didn't do 23, and she's not doing any more for the US, but I know she's still casting for the Canadian version. So let's go and take a look at Robin Cass on Reality Wanted. This was like made like 11 years ago.
Hi, my name's Robin Cass. I am the owner of Casting Inc., and I am the casting director of Big Brother 12. I've been casting Big Brother since season 2.
Yep.
I have also done numerous seasons of The Bachelor. I have a new show on ABC called The Secret Millionaire coming on. I do High School Reunion. I do She's Got the Look, and lots of various shows throughout the years. In order to apply for Big Brother, you have to be at least 21 years. I do realize we've had a couple people underage, but they were only on the show because of specific twists that were asked for me that year. So do not apply if you're under 21. It doesn't matter if we've had other people. If you're under 21, your tape will go in the trash.
Yeah, definitely want to talk about that really quickly. The reason why you have to be 21 and older to get on Big Brother is because most of the times they do get alcohol. It's the show really starts off with like them sitting at the round table drinking, so that's why. It's alcohol.
Every single tape that comes in for any of my shows, whether it's Big Brother or any of my shows, every single tape is watched. There are so many ways we find people for Big Brother. People who apply and send tapes in, people show up at open calls, we recruit.
She recruits guys, so like I said before, the doppelgangers. God. I probably would have saved her so much time. Like, she easily could have gotten those 4 people that I met at the penthouse in La Manada if she was still casting, but let's just keep going.
We use the internet. I mean, anything that is accessible to us, we'll use. I don't really care where the people come from as much as I care that the best people are on the show and the best people are represented.
Okay, I definitely want to go over that really briefly. So when she talks about the best people are represented and the best people are on the show, so how it usually works when it comes to Big Brother casting is they usually try to pick 1 or 2 people from each state that represents that state. So like, let's say like someone from Texas, like they would have like the cowboy hat and the collar shirt and the jeans and the boots and stuff like that. They do this a lot. It's very archetype / stereotypes, but it wasn't really like that in the beginning, like in Big Brother 1 and 2, I believe. But I mean, the reason, and I guess it's kind of just smart marketing, like having people that represent people in different states would mean that different people from different states would definitely be more involved in watching the show because they feel like there's representation. There's someone that's representing them, like, on the show.
Just because a tape has, fun explosions on it and special effects and crazy stuff doesn't necessarily mean that
I know exactly what she's talking about. I've actually had that issue when it came to people who applied to season 2 of my show, where they will send in stupid Instagram like lives that with their friends, like partying at like 3 a.m, like, and then like the application, there's like nothing on the application. It's strange.
Person on the tape is great. And on the other side, a lot of people will just sit on a couch and talk about themselves, and sometimes those are the best tapes.
I agree with that because you're a lot more comfortable when you're sitting down and just talking about yourself. It's more easier to articulate who you are, your name, age, occupation, what you like, what you do for a living, why you would be good for the show, and it's also going to determine what your diary room sessions are going to look like. So I agree with her that sitting on a couch is probably the best way of applying to the show. I mean, it could be, you literally, as long as you're sitting or and your face is in the frame, it's fine.
If you want to do something fancy, great, make us laugh. It's, we've watched thousands and thousands of these tapes, but what I'm saying is show us, don't tell us. The worst tapes are the ones that come in where someone's sitting down and says, all my friends tell me I'm the life of the party. All my friends tell me I'm really funny. Ask my friends, call my friends and ask them if I would be really good for the show, because you know what, I'm not going to call your friends.
Yes. She's not going to call your friends, guys. No, a casting producer will never call your friends.
And I should be able to tell within 2 minutes of watching your tape if you have a dynamic personality and you should be on Big Brother. Take your time with your application.
Yeah, so like she's talking about how you should take your time with your application, and this is actually really important. One of the things that I had for my application to actually know if people actually watched my show was I asked specific questions about the show in which only people who actually watched the show would know, and that really made a big difference as to who I cast for season 2 of my show. So we have Dan Gieslin, you know. God, Dan. Sometimes I just can't with Dan. Sometimes I really can't with you. Sometimes, Dan. But.
And first and foremost, thank you so much for submitting your question through the website. And you bring up an interesting question that has a very, very simple answer. And more often than not, people have a misconception on this and let it affect how they create their audition video or how they go into open casting call. So your question is, what does casting value more? Someone who they think is going to win the game or someone that's entertaining? The thing that...
Entertainment. I just answered that. The producers are not going to know who's going to win the show, but if there's people, you know, whose occupation would be strategic occupation, like that would represent their personality. So yeah, they're not looking for winners, guys. Like otherwise, they're just not looking for winners, period.
That's important that you guys need to realize is that casting, whether it's the executive producers who ultimately make the decision, not the casting director, who make the final decision, they don't care if you're going to win or not. That's not their job. Their job is to create an entertaining reality television show. Mm-hmm. So you could be the smartest person in the entire world and have every, angle, right angle, everything figured out, but that doesn't matter. It's can you be entertaining while you're doing that? So if...
Exactly. Yep. There you go. I couldn't have said it better. I actually agree with that. It's just how you are in the house. They're always going to pick different people and going into the house. Like for the most part, except for BB23 and BB22 and All Stars or whatever, they normally cast people that are different, so that way they would create the drama within themselves based on their personalities, and it usually happens every year. But it didn't happen last year because they didn't cast too many different people. A lot of the same archetypes. I know.
If you had to, pick someone to be on the show, would you pick someone who you know is going to win, or are you going to pick someone that knows is going to entertain a lot of people? Every single time, the person who can entertain people is always going to be picked. So it's your...
100%. It's unfortunate, but it's 100%. And also, the people that are entertaining are also just going to be good for things like the press, the intro, the diary rooms, the competitions. When they have to host a competition, that's just always how it's been. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.